Welcome back to another episode of the Slang Self Doubt Podcast. It's your girl Felicia Wallace. As always, we start every episode with thanking the new listeners and the continued listeners. I know y'all probably like, if she don't think, stop thanking us. I'm not. I'm not gonna stop thanking you. So you can skip past this part. I'm gonna continue to thank you because I'm here for y'all. And I am every time someone reaches back out to tell me that they listened to an episode, it resonated with them, they passed it on to somebody else. Like it's a big deal to me. So I am forever grateful, literally forever grateful. And I'm gonna keep saying thank you. Okay. The wins of the week. So this week I celebrated my 2 year podcast anniversary. So March 3rd was the day that I released, March 3rd, 2019 was the day I released the very first episode of the Slang Self Doubt podcast. And what is crazy is I mentioned this during my social media kind of rant or talk or I don't know what you want to call it, but on the post of saying that I literally forgot, like it had just escaped my mind because I was so focused on other things that are going on this month. So I forgot. But what was crazy about it is that it's amazing how when you're doing something that you love and doing something that you know is making an impact and that you are in your purpose that it doesn't seem like work and it doesn't seem as stressful as it is when you start it. And so for me, in the beginning, I was stressed out about it because I was nervous. I didn't know what it was going to look like, if people were going to like it, all of those things, right? And so now to just be doing it because I know I need to do it and to miss the anniversary of it was just like, it was twofold. It was like, girl, how you missed that? And then the other part was like, girl, how you missed that? You know? Two different ways. The second thing for this week is that on Monday, March 1st, I launched the group coaching. That was a big deal to me, y'all. And I probably will we'll probably talk about that a little bit. We're going to talk about a couple of different things today. That's kind of off topic a little bit of like the slang self doubt and your whatever it is. It is the group coaching um was something that God placed on my heart like a year and a half ago. And I continue to tell him, no, I'm not ready. I did all the things, right? I, tried to, do the business side of it and try to get all the foundational stuff. I tried to do everything actually but that. But it kept like leading me right back here, kept leading me right back here. And I was fighting it, y'all. I really was because it isn't that I wasn't doing it because I actually already am doing it. It was really because I was like, is this what you truly want me to do? And I will tell you that he will keep, knocking on that door when and keep reminding you in different ways that that's what you're supposed to be doing when it is your purpose and when it is exactly what you're supposed to be doing, right? And so I want to talk a little bit about the group coaching. So the group coaching is a 6-week program where we will be identifying your fears. And it is a small group of like-minded women who will come together and discuss some predetermined questions that will kind of really get you to start thinking and get you to really pull those things up that we probably don't necessarily. I always say things that you don't want to talk about, stuff that's already in the back of your head, but you're nervous about like admitting it to yourself or saying it out loud. You know what I'm saying? We would meet every week for the 6 weeks, and we will come together, using Zoom to be able to have this conversation with each other. You will have some work that you have to do on your end outside of it so that you are, so that it's not like a one and done thing, right? Because I feel like a lot of times when we do certain things, especially when we're talking about getting to this, like doing this, like self discovery and self awareness, that it's just not a one and done thing. I can't just show up to one class and be like, oh, okay, I talked about it and move on. I think for me, I believe that it's a process, right? That you you have to be continuously doing the work. And so you'll get some questions throughout the week that you answer. And then, the next week we'll talk about a different subject. And the purpose of it all really is for you to have the support of others. For me, I did this by myself, like legit. I really did this by myself, of really identifying what my insecurities were, and how they were showing up, what it looked like in the multiple areas of my life. And I did the work myself of um getting myself together, basically, right? Is it going to continue to happen? It is. I've told y'all this, the slaying self-doubt is a journey. So the difference is that where I was and where I am now is that I know when it shows up. So I know when I'm getting anxious about something and I'm feeling insecure about something, that I have these tools that I can use, and I have these resources that I can use that will be able to say, okay, yes, I'm afraid. Yes, I'm nervous, but I'm doing it anyway, right? Even with the launch of this, all types of insecurities came up. Every single thing you can think of. Who's going to buy this? Who's going to pay for it? Am I qualified? Even though I've done the work, like, do people believe me? Is this enough? Should I be doing more? Did I do too much? It's so many different things that came up, and what I rested on was literally that, did God tell you to do this? The answer was yes. Has God said that this is enough? He absolutely did, because I was struggling in the beginning trying to figure out, like, okay, God, what exactly do you want me to do? I just really, I need to know, what is it that you want me to do? And I kept trying to do it myself. I kept trying to say, okay, I'm gonna talk about this, and I'm gonna do this, I promise you, every single time I would like get to like the first week of whatever we was gonna talk about, and it would just be a complete blank. Like I would be like, I don't even know. And I tell y'all all the time, Judges 14 says, "Go with the strength you have. I am sending you." And so one day I just had to like put the paper down, and I had to just walk away. And I was just like, I prayed and I just asked God, I said, whatever it is that you want me to be able to say to these women, I need you to tell me. If you do not tell me, we're not going nowhere. Like facts. Like we're not going nowhere. I can't move if you don't tell me what we're doing, because clearly I don't know. And so I think that's what you're trying to get me to understand, that I don't know. You know, fine, okay, I get it. I admit it. I don't know. So if you want this done by March 1st, you gonna have to tell me, bruh. Like that was legit my conversation with him. And literally, I think that same week, I sat down in a bed, and I usually at night I do like I told you I do like a journal dumping kind of thing of my day. Some of it is about celebrating what things I completed. So it's like a completion, right? It's like, oh man, I washed clothes today. Oh, I made dinner. Oh, I took a bath. Oh, I went walking with the kids, whatever the thing may be, right? And so as I was sitting there writing, um, he literally was just like, it was like this thing in me. He didn't say it, but it was in me, like, pick up your pen and stop writing. And I was like, okay. So I literally, the day before that was, okay, so in the midst of this, right, I'm still looking, because I'm still trying to do the work, like, oh God, this is February 22nd, like you ain't saying nothing yet, so let me try. So I went to this site that I plan to use, and they had like this outline to be able to like make it structured. I told y'all before, like, organization and structure is not necessarily my ministry, like in a way that other people can understand. I can structure stuff in order for me to understand it, but if somebody else had to read it, they'd be like, what? And that's, it's just the way I operate, right? So I was like, all right, let me sit down. So I'm looking at this thing, and I'm listening to, so it's like a video that goes along with it. So I'm listening to the video. And as I'm listening to the video, I'm answering the questions, writing down, what it is that I want from the program, and from the course, and from these 6 weeks, and what I want you all to learn, and how I want it to go. And so as I get to the end, I'm like, oh, okay, well, this seems like simple enough. In my mind, I'm saying, well, if the Lord don't tell me, I can figure it out enough. And it was in that moment that it was like, he was like, no, we're going to do this now. And when I tell y'all, within like 45 minutes, I literally, like, he literally just downloaded in me exactly how he wanted it to go. And even during that time, I was going back, and I was like, I don't know. Do you want me to do this? Do you want me to do that? Because let me be very honest with you guys. When I started small groups, I remember saying to my small group leader at the time who said, I think you'll be a great leader. I was like, I don't think I'm religious enough, or the hesitation was like, I don't know enough Bible. I don't know enough scriptures. I don't know enough of these things to, like make it a Bible study, right? You understand what I'm saying? Like when you go to stuff like that, in my mind, the assumption was that it needed to be like a teaching thing, and it needed to be like I needed to have these things under me. And she one very clearly just said to me, like, "Ain't nobody asking you to be a pastor." Like that is not what we're doing. We're saying that and basically was like you facilitate a conversation amongst women who are going through the same thing that you're going through. At the time, I didn't know what it was going to be about, right? And so I was just like, okay. And she's like, you know more than you think you do. And it doesn't have to be scripture. You don't have to be reciting Bible verses. That's not what it is. And so when I was writing this and God was giving it to me, um, it's a mix between the crazy part about it is that there's a portion in here where we will go to the Bible, because there are scriptures that I realized that throughout this journey, whether I knew it or not, I had been standing on. And I was just like, oh man, like some of them were obvious, right? Like I told you, I judged a 614. I told you I went to a clarity session and she gave me Esther 414. And so those were kind of obvious to me. Like, yeah, I knew those. But there were other things that I think throughout this journey I had learned about, heard about, and it was in me, whether or not I was saying it exactly as it was written in the Bible or whatever the case may be. It was in me. And so it wasn't that I didn't know or I didn't have it. It was that it was there, right? And so as I was writing it out and I get to the end, and the crazy part about this is I said, Lord, is this too churchy? Now, here's the full circle part about this, right? In the beginning, I didn't think that I was, you know, churchy enough. And I don't even want to say churchy, because churchy is like going to church. In the beginning of starting, the small groups for 4 years ago, I didn't think I had the um didn't think I had enough scriptures. That's what and that was really what I was thinking. Enough scriptures to be able to give people a clear I felt like I wouldn't be leading it, because I was like, I don't even be reading the Bible like that. Like I do my devotionals and I whatever come up on the devotional app, but I ain't in here highlighting scriptures and all of that stuff. It isn't me. Like how me and God work, that's our relationship, right? And so when to be here now, writing this thing down and asking God, is this too much scripture? Have I put too much? It was one of the things where it was like, what the crap, right? Like legit was like the like there's no way. And so when I wrote it and I got to the end of it and I realized that that was my thought process, I like had to take a moment and just thank him. I say, God, like you look at where you brought me. Like I had no idea that this is how it would get. This is where it would get to. I had no idea that I would go through these 4 years of feeling like I wasn't qualified. Okay. Feeling like I didn't know enough, feeling like that I didn't belong and I needed to be someone else to get to this point, to now say, that was my proof that you had enough, right? That was my proof that no, you've had it all along and it's been there. And now you questioning, is that too much? Right? It's almost like when you have the resume and you go to a job and you be like, well, let me take this off, because I don't want them thinking whatever. Like in certain jobs, some places you remove certain things depending on the job, right? And then you add stuff. You know how you go somewhere, like again, a job, and people will be like, you're qualified, right? And you'll be like, how? To me, depending on the thing, most of the time it's about money. So let me just say that, right? But I'll be like, how can somebody be overqualified for a job they've never done? It's just you don't want to pay them for the work that they've done, right? Like when you look at somebody's resume, I used to look at stuff and I would like for instance, I had somebody who was applying to like a medical assistant position, right? But looking at her resume, she used to be a manager and she used to be like whatever, she was like a lead something. And so for me, I would be like, I need you to explain to me why you're applying to this job, because you have the qualifications to do more. So why are you working backwards? And a lot of times we find ourselves doing the lesser thing because it's easier, and or we feel like, well, at least we can get in there with just that little bit, you know what I'm saying, like I at least get in the door. And in that moment, during that interview, actually, the young lady told me like what happened. I can't really remember, but it was almost like she just figured she needed to start over. And I was very honest with her and telling her that, I don't think you're giving yourself enough credit. Like, you really should not be applying for a position that's literally to, 3 steps beneath you. Like, you should be just trying to apply for these managerial positions and just see what happens, right? And I get it, because she wanted to be in the organization. She was just trying to figure out a way to get in. You know what I'm saying? And but I was like, it's very easy. And it's the whole word right here. It just came in my mind, and so I was like, "Oh yeah," but it's very easy to get stuck. It's very easy to get stuck in a position just because you're trying to get in, or just because you're trying to do it in your will, right, and in your strength, versus really taking a chance and stepping out on faith, right? And so, where this all kind of comes together with the group coaching is that I realized that I took a leap of faith, and and I left my job, and I knew that it was to do more than just this podcast, right? Of course, I love it. I love doing the podcast. I love talking to you all. I love, being able to have this platform. I love doing the interviews, all of those things. I love it. But I could do this in work. I could do this and do my job because I was already doing it, right? But the reality is that God was calling me for more, and I knew it had to be bigger than just what I could imagine, right? And so with this, with the group coaching, that's exactly what it is. It's literally God saying, "You are going to be here to be of service to me." Because that is what he asked me. His original vision was to help women who struggle with doubts and insecurities. And literally, if you go back on my page, it says that I'm just his vessel. And I had to remind myself that he's using me. I'm not using him. I'm not going. I did this. I know I keep saying this. I did not ask for this. And so if I'm clear, or had to get re-clear, that he is using me, then it has to come from him. And, you know, when I think about all the things that I've done out of order, y'all remember them t-shirts, right? Never works. It never works. And it's always to be easier for me, to make me feel good, to give me immediate satisfaction. This right here is not giving me immediate satisfaction. I'm gonna be honest. I put it out there and I was nervous. I really, really was, because I was like, ain't nobody gonna pay for this. This is the God honest truth. And I told him that. And he said, that's not what I asked you. It's not about that part. You are to be obedient. I told you to put it out there. This is what I told. This is how I wanted to be. You and I, because we sat down, and I think I remember saying on here, me and the Lord got some things we need to figure out. Because for me, I was like, well, Lord, well, you want me to do it this way? You want me to, and every single thing came from Him, and He was. At the end of the day, He just said, I just need you to be obedient. That's it. And I can't worry about anything else. I can't worry about if someone else is going to, if a person is going to purchase it. I can't worry about if people are going to be in it. Is it in the back of my mind? Yes, it is, because that would, me saying no would be a lie, right? It is in the back of my mind, but I'm not dwelling on it the way I used to. I did what I was supposed to do. I did my assignment when he said to do it, and the rest is up to him. He gonna still use me. I'm still going to move forward in everything else that he's given me to do. This is just one piece of it. But he needed to see my obedience. He needed to see that I would listen to him regardless of the outcome, because that is what I've been doing. Like, I don't want to do it because I'm not sure. And I had to get to this moment right here to be able to say, I'm gonna do it regardless of the situation, regardless of the outcome, regardless if it works. Because the reality is that this is still what I'm supposed to be doing. It may not be right now, right? Or whatever, whatever the outcome of this launch is going to be whatever it is. but this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm very clear about that. How it's going to come about, the Lord will figure that out. I have to mind my business. Okay. I've been saying lately, I'm going to mind my bald headed black business. Okay. Since I cut my hair, that's what I'm minding my bald headed black business. That's what I'm doing. I have nothing, I cannot do anything else because this is His. And understanding that and knowing that now, and I'm smiling about it and I feel good about it because this has been a long time coming for me, y'all. Y'all know, y'all have heard the stories. Y'all have seen me on here crying and frustrated and all of these different things. And to be in a place of obedience and not worrying about what the future is going to hold, man, that is I can't explain it no other way. I literally can't explain it no other way. So I didn't know, like, when I started this and I was like, okay, what are we gonna talk about today, Lord? Like I do. So next week we're gonna talk about self-doubt and your purpose, right? And so as I was writing it down, he was just like, no, we're not talking about that this week. You move that to next week. And so I'm like, okay, well, well, what we gonna talk about? And I don't. Other than that, we was already. And I think in this moment, he needed me to see that I had grown. He needed me to see that, and to remind you that when you are being obedient and doing what he asks you to do, you will get to a place of peace. You will get to a place of understanding that it is on him and that he is the one who is going to see you all the way through it. You have to do the work. I had to do the work. I had to show up. I had to be obedient. I had to do what he asked me to do when he asked me to do it. But the results are on him. I have something, and I on my board that says obedience is our responsibility, outcome is God's. And in this moment, I recognize that. I have done the obedience. The outcome is His. And so I want to encourage you, no matter what it is that you're going through, if you are remaining obedient, allow God to worry about the outcome. Let Him decide what is going to happen for whatever the outcome is. Know that no matter what, it's for his good, right? Whatever it is, there's a lesson in every single thing, but it starts with our obedience. And for me, I knew that that was my word for 2021, and I knew that that was something that I definitely had to work on, because I'm quick to be like, wait a minute, Lord, I'm gonna do that next week. I know you telling me today, but I'm not ready because I wasn't ready for the outcome, right? I wasn't ready for what it was going to be like. And now I'm in a space where, like, I'm gonna just be obedient and whatever happens, happens, right? What can I do? So um I hope that that was helpful for you all. I hope that something resonated with you today, in reference to, just being obedient and allowing God to do his work. If you are interested in joining the small group, definitely go to the website. And sign up, and we will get this party started. The launch will be from March 1st until March 18th. The start of the start of group coaching will start April 7th, that is when it'll be the week of April 4th, but April 7th will be the first time that we will meet live, and you get to talk to me. And y'all know you gonna get this right here. Me is just like this, no different. I'm not gonna be like, okay, so welcome. No, you're gonna get, hey girl, hey sis, hey, all of that. Along with, the 6 week program, and I'm doing the weekly Zoom calls. Will also be a part, you will also be a part of a private Facebook group, so that we can keep this conversation going, and so that you don't feel like you're doing that weekly process by yourself. That'll be where we continue the conversation, but we'll get one day where we meet up and you have these women who are in the same place as you, because we are not alone. Because this is still me, y'all. I told you, slaying self-doubt is a journey. I'm still here. So if you are interested in that, go ahead and sign up. Yeah, that's all I got for today. So until next week, see ya.